Well, hello. Hello. I'm trying to look and make sure and see what's going on with the stream. And so give a minute for the invitation, the notification to drop. And so, I'm also having my Wendy's. So yum. Let's see. Here comes Lily. All right. It looks like I am live. All right. There we go. I am live. All right. There we go. I am live. LOL. So let me. Good morning, afternoon, and welcome to Minnassa Wellness. Let's chat. I know it's been a while since I've been here. And so we're going to do some catching up and I'm going to talk about some new things that I'm doing. And then, of course, we're going to do the reading. So let me, StreamYard had a nice little reminder to thank those people that catch the playback, that will catch me later. And so I thank you, those of you who watch it later, and I think you can still leave comments, or you're welcome to leave comments. And for those of you that are watching live right now, come on and drop your name or say hello, leave me a comment. And I'm going to take one more thing of my yummy Frosty. All right. So again, I am Minnassa, and you are at Minnassa Wellness. And this is my first live in a while. And so I welcome you. I thank you for joining me here. So let me give an update. What in the heck? Hey, Regina. Yes, what in the heck? And the Frosty is yummy. I was going to go to an event in Memphis tonight, LGBTQ for Mid-South Pride. I even got dressed up. I was ready to go after this event, but it's hard for me to drive to Memphis in the evening and then come back. So I went to Wendy's because I was at the peach cobbler factory, and that was on the way back. So yes, I got my Frosty. It's one of my favorite things about Wendy's. So let me give you an update on what's been going on. So one of the things that I did last year, because I wanted to go back to my business as a professional speaker, which of course got all thrown off with COVID, or I'll say redirected with COVID. And so I changed my schedule from being the admin for the nurse director of the CV service line, and I became an HUC, which is, I know the UC stands for unit coordinator. I don't know what the H stands for. Human, no. Human unit coordinator. And so I was working 3 12-hour shifts. Now, I will say that even though I guess by eating Wendy's, I can't claim I eat the best, but I eat well, I exercise, I sleep well, but a 12-hour shift. Wow. And so I've been doing that for a year because I began there January 21st. Or switch to that position. Now, the beautiful thing is that by changing, I was able to speak at BTAC, which is the Black Trans Advocacy Council Conference. I drove to Dallas, Texas in my little Volkswagen. Didn't know anybody there. I do have a friend that lives in Dallas, Texas, but she was not a part of the conference. And so I went there. I did my very first presentation, which is called the N word, the transformative power of self-care, the N being the word no, that oftentimes people in general, women really, and men don't know how to say no. And so they end up doing things or interacting or being places that they don't really want to be. And part of that is because they're acting unconsciously. They haven't tapped into the power of their mind. And so the point of that presentation is to help you harness the power of your mind so that you can really be present to yourself and find out what it is that you want to do, what it is that you don't want to do, who do you want to interact with, and then to build a vocabulary to say yes to the things that are best for yourself. Say yes to the things that bring you joy, that say yes to the things that empower you, and then to graciously but very firmly say no to those things that are not joyful, that do not empower you, that keep you caught in the past, that are not at the energy that you're vibrating at. And so I did that there in Texas. That was in April. In July, I did a presentation at Tri-State Black Pride, same presentation. But gratefully, my daughter Lily was there to film it. Now, even the year before, I did a 5-week series at Out Memphis. And again, Anu and Neil, thank you. They opened the door to me. I was basically a stranger to them, and my original location didn't work out, and they opened the door to me. And I had a wonderful time. I met Jenna and Anu, and that's where Mickey came, and Kara and Dolly were on the stream, and it was just a really wonderful time. But I was still working. So I Tri-State Black Pride, my daughter was able to film it, and it was very good. So in the midst of that, Tri-State Black Pride is the third weekend of Pride Month, because Mid-South Pride is the first weekend. I ended up having the opportunity to speak in Atlanta, Georgia, or actually Unity, North Atlanta, June of 2023 for their Juneteenth presentation. And that was wonderful, and that was filmed. So then my wonderful friend Dolly was able to go and use her movie magic and pull out my speech. And then I was invited to speak at the Unity Church here several times, the one in South Haven and the one in Memphis. But one of the things I realized is like, my business isn't growing the way that I wanted to my speaking business. My ministry is, I've done preaching and teaching and ministry. That's a part of who I am. It's something that I do all the time, even when I don't mean to, right? I mean, it's just being a preacher, a minister, a nurturer, a guide, or a leader. That's just a part of my persona. And so, but public speaking, in an arena with corporate leaders, that is where I wanted to bring my business back to. And so I'd had a conversation before I had left my position with the director of the CV service line, with a man from an organization called the Speaker Lab. And I told him part of the challenge is that when I talk about mindfulness or connecting with your inner thoughts, that in a corporate environment, most men are going to be afraid of that and run away from that. And as much as we want to talk about advancements and all those things, and women have come a long way, corporate America is still run by a bunch of white men, and they're not in touch with their feelings. So he introduced me. He said, well, we have a lady here at the Speaker Lab that talks about that all the time. And I went to her site. Her name is Katherine Johnson, Katherine with the K. She is awesome. And yeah, she was using words like transforming your inner feelings. And I was like, what in the heck? Okay. So fast forward, I had to sit down with Gail about 6 months ago. And I said, my speaking isn't an issue. That has been my gift. Check my report cards from kindergarten, Speaking in class all the time, talking in class all the time. Now, the other thing my teacher should have known is that I was an only child for the first 3 years of school. So I didn't have anyone to talk to other than the adults. So I didn't want to talk with them. So when I got to school, I had all this stuff I wanted to talk to my friends my own age. But Gail and I joined the Speaker Lab, and that has been awesome. You have a VIP coach. They have a whole module for you to go through, and then you have the elite coaches, which my coach is VIP as far as I'm concerned. And it has really, really helped me. And I have sent out proposals. I have a way to track. I have someone coaching me. They created my speaker reel, which I'm going to send to my friend Dolly because she's a movie magician, and say, hey, let's make one of these. Yeah, your only child. When you are an only child and you're hanging around adults, when you go to school, you see your friends, you want to be social. I mean, it's just like, really. So yes, Regina, it's just how it is. So And that's what I've been working on. So in the midst of that, I've been doing my YouTube page, which, I took maybe like 4 or 5 weeks off because I was tired. And I was, like one time I got up, I filmed it like at 4 in the morning, or that's the time I would get up for work, and I wasn't paying attention. And so it like went, I thought, okay, this isn't what my audience deserves. They deserve the best form of me. They deserve a rested form of me. They deserve someone who's thinking and creating. And so I took some time off, and then we came back with 10 days of self-care. We're looking at Lent. So I just feel very much focused. And then, of course, being able to use my days off to film 2 or 3 so that I can really piece together, draw together the work that I do in the morning. So yes, Mindful Mornings with Minnassa, which is Monday through Friday. It shows at 6:30 a.m. Central Time. And so I am grateful. I have grown that channel thanks to y'all bit by bit. I think I'm at 350, but I say each one of those people have either come from seeing me when I was initially part of the Tarot Love community or seeing me speak. I applied to speak. Oh yeah, I applied to speak to be a part of a mindfulness weekend at the University of Niagara in New York. It was a virtual, and a woman there was like, oh my God, I loved you. And so I follow you. And so all those things, these great opportunities. So I'm grateful for that. So I want to talk about a couple things, and then we're going to get to the cards. Okay, let me have a little more sip of my Frosty. So one of the things my wonderful daughter, who is Lily Benu, was talking to me about. So let me take it back. So I know that I look good, right? But I'm 60 years old. So a lot of this technology, again, I know how to speak. I know how to put together a presentation. So those skills coming to YouTube, that's like no problem. I know how to do that. But for YouTube, there are things you have to do. So like, I didn't know about the thumbnail. I didn't know that in the morning, my videos are about 5 to 6 minutes. Well, YouTube either wants you to do a 1-minute video or something that's longer, like 10 minutes. But I'm not going to keep people for 10 minutes. 5 to 7 minutes is perfect as far as I'm concerned in the morning. But my wonderful daughter had come to me and she said, Mom, you can teach on so many things. And then there's so many things that people could learn from you, and you can do it on YouTube. And so I've been thinking about it, talking with ChatGPT, which I love that little AI. And it's something that I've been wanting to do. So I'm going to begin a series. It's called Spirituality 101. Sort of an introduction to spirituality. And I will be honest that part of the reason I had come off of doing lives is that I didn't really feel accepted into the Tarot Love community. And again, I'm just going to be honest. And that would happen is people would have me on their show, or they'd watch my show, have me on their show, do things that they didn't do on their show before that they saw me do, but not give me credit. And I'm not going to have that. You're not going to come on my show, see me do something, add it to your show. And I say, I want to thank Minnassa. I was inspired by this. Even when I preached a sermon last week and I said, as African Americans, if you want to be an ally, we're not looking for just an ally, someone who can write a check and, write angry emails or whatever, make comments. We're looking for someone, as my friend Julian Clark said, co-conspirators and accomplices, right? I credited him for that. And so just a lot of that. And there was a lot of prejudice. Part of the challenge is you have a lot of white women who are doing their Wiccan and their spirituality, and they don't want to be faced with how much of how they live, and even their Wiccan and their spirituality is a part of white patriarchy. And the things they do, they benefit, and that much of what they do now, I laugh about Hay House again. Louise Hay, I love her. Wayne Dyer, that she is a millionaire, died a millionaire, but much of what she did was she got from Black and African, Central American, and South American spirituality put it in tarot cards, sold it to a white audience. And, and those are just conversations we need to have. And they weren't interested in having that. And I'm just not going to be a part of a fake group. And so I stepped away, but because that's how I am. I'm a lone wolf. And so I'm just going to step away. I'm not going to be a part of a toxic conversation, not try to convince you otherwise. But I'm back now doing my own thing with my group of people, wanting to do this more. So let's talk about spirituality one-on-one, because what I saw is that a lot of the people on those YouTube channels and all around will say like, I'm spiritual and blah, blah, blah. Or I saw ghosts as a children, so therefore I'm a psychic. Well, I can disagree with that. All children see ghosts and spirits because we're not blinded yet. We haven't stepped into the matrix of this country. And so a lot of people got bored and got tarot cards during the pandemic. And now you want to be on YouTube reading and dispensing spiritual information. And I'll just say, you got to do more than that. I can't just say, Regina, I'm a Portuguese woman. So did you did one of those ancestry things? You have Portuguese? No, I don't have any Portuguese. Well, have you been there? No, never been there. Do you speak that language? No, I don't. Do you know anything about the country? But I'm claiming to be Portuguese, right? So to be Portuguese means you got to have something. Know how to cook their food, know how to speak their language, have a connection there, whether because you feel drawn to their spirituality or you like their type of government. And so a lot of people call themselves spiritual, but just like I said, when I was a pastor at a traditional church, that if your cat and dog don't know that you're saved, then you ain't saved, right? It's got to be in your house. And so spirituality, in my opinion, this is Minnassa's opinion, okay? This is Minnassa's opinion. There is a path, a journey of spirituality. There is a growth and a development. Playing with tarot cards, okay, that is a form of spirituality, I guess, but what is the foundation? In the traditional church, say you could be a Christian, but you could be carnal, meaning you still act from your flesh, that you still allow your body and this world to control. There's a statement in the Bible that says you're in the world, but not of it. And so for me, I want to empower and teach people how to walk on their spiritual path. And spirituality is a consciousness to begin with. It's not a statement. Now, think, Minnassa, you sound very judgmental. Okay, right? If you know me, I'm a Virgo. I analyze and then I speak the truth. A lot of people who call themselves religious are really just anti-traditional church. And that can be fine because the traditional church, it's a whole bunch of conversations about church hurt. That even saw a beautiful woman on Instagram talking about that for a lot of African Americans, because of our trauma, we use religion to cover that up. Well, the Lord will make a way, or God's working on it, versus saying I'm hurt, or this happened to me and I need help to talk about it. I said, well, I just talk to the Lord. Right? Because I don't feel safe saying, hey, listen, I got jacked up as a child, or I'm in this horrible relationship and I want to get out. We go to our spirituality or to religion. And so I understand church hurt. I mean, that woman that went to Joel Osteen's church, they said she had a mental health issue, which, okay, but she went to that church for a reason, right? There were tons of churches, but she went to that church for a reason. So, I'm thinking, and my feeling is something happened there. And so again, to understand that, yes, you may be anti-traditional church or anti-patriarchal church, but in Minnassa's opinion, it doesn't mean that you are a spiritual person, because spirituality begins here in your consciousness, and that will come out in your conversations, and it'll be seen in your interactions. And so, and it also has to do with education. What do you know about spirituality? Right? Have you, a lot of people, I do New Thought sort of consciousness belief, but all of those things, from Ernest Holmes, who was the founders of Centers for Spiritual Living or Church of Religious Science, to Mildred and Charles Fillmore, who are the founders of Unity, they all grew up in a Christian church, and then they were able to see the bigger concepts, the metaphysical concepts, the Christ consciousness in that book, or even the Buddha consciousness. And so from those books, so oftentimes when you read, like, I'll try to pick up my little book, when you read something from Ernest Holmes, it's peppered with religious references. And so most people who are in this new age, in this new world order, right? Oh my God, who are in this place to where, people have been, I read an article that said, yes, we really as a scapegoat for reality. You're right on target. That since 2018, so it wasn't the pandemic that made it happen, but the pandemic showed it happening. Churches, and I love this, was a research article that I read, said they are hemorrhaging. And now, if you ever been to hospital, hemorrhaging is not good, right? Just blood just gushing out, right? The churches are hemorrhaging members. People are sick of traditional churches, and that the one place that wasn't happening was the South, that the South was still holding on to their church members. And over the last 3 or 4 years, even the South is starting to see their church membership decline and church attendance decline. Because yes, there is the rise of spirituality, but how do you live as a spiritual person in a world that is anti-spiritual? How do you live as a spiritual person in a world that wants you to be religious? To me, a spiritual person is someone who is free and expanded, and that is almost the antithesis of what the United States is about. Right? The United States is about conformity and living by these rules that benefit a small group of people. And if you are independent and think on your own, you're already causing problems, right? The United States is a system, and all systems live to keep themselves alive. And when you do and act in a way that could make that system's continuation become in jeopardy, you become a problem and an enemy of that system. And so even conscious thinking can be a problem with that. That's the power of privilege. And so, but this world needs us. It needs us as light workers, not to just be on here on YouTube, flinging around our tarot and oracle cards, but getting that consciousness that will bring this country, bring this world into its next phase. And we've got to do that work. And so part of what I'm going to be doing will be Spirituality 101. I will begin with the Old Testament survey, because you got to have an understanding of the religious foundation of this country, and then really to see the spiritual even the fact that I call it the Old Testament. To Jewish people, it's the Tanakh. It is their Bible. But of course, through the lens of American patriarchy, that's old, right? And then there's the New Testament. And of course, new is always better. But even to look at Jesus, he's always presented in the best light. I'm going to be speaking at Unity in Cordova this coming Sunday. And part of what we're going to talk about is having a courageous conversation. And even the quotes, like Black History Month is very much curated. You don't see anything from Malcolm X or Angela Davis, right? Those troublemakers, or even, I can see him. He just flew out of my mind. And the comments that we see by Dr. King are very curated. He had some very radical things to say. He was against the Vietnam War. He stood up for poor people. And part of people say that's why he got assassinated, because as long as he'd stayed in his little lane, like, let's help Black people, let's help Black people, let's help Black people. But when he said, no, you got to have justice everywhere. The United States can't just be going over to foreign countries and just killing folks because they want their oil and their resources, right? And then all of a sudden he got into trouble. I'm talking about economic justice. But that, spirituality, your consciousness should permeate your life, permeate your conversations, permeate your decision-making, permeate the way you interact. Now, again, this is my view of spirituality. And so I will be doing that. So we're going to start with the Tanakh. which is the Jewish Bible. Then we'll look at the New Testament. Now, we'll be using the Protestant Bible. I will talk about the Apocrypha, which is our books added to the Catholic Bible. And we may talk about the Pseudepigrapha, which is some additional writings. And then there's always the Nag Hammadi Index. So all those weird sound, like there's a lot more religious text and spiritual text around Master Teacher Jesus and around that time that didn't make it into the Bible. Well, why not? See, that's a whole different conversation. Most people just hear this is his book. Like, I worked at Cedars and had an Orthodox rabbi who was such a loving and gracious man, Rabbi Weiner. And we were talking about some books, and he says, well, the Torah, that's considered like the word of God and those things. The rest of the books are like historical, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what? Right? Because again, my whole purview was my view of the scriptures is how I was taught as a Christian. But here's this man. So he went through this whole thing about, well, this, I said, do you know this prophecy is supposed to be of the Messiah? He goes, that's not a messianic prophecy. I'm like, it's not? Wow. So what about this? This, he goes, no, this was fulfilled in this person. So very interesting to where in the Christian church, they're trying to say all these prophecies point to Jesus. He was saying, no, this is this person. This is this person. This is this historical person from the Tanakh. And I thought, wow, very interesting. Very interesting. And so I want to thank those of you that are here. Again, thank you to those of you that will watch later. If you have the chance, please hit the thumbs up. So we're going to do Spirituality 101. So I'm going to take a look at the Tanakh, going to take a look at the New Testament and from a metaphysical point of view. And then we're going to take a look at sort of new thought, excuse me, because I shouldn't be eating Wendy's before I'm trying to do this deal, right? To raise the consciousness, to have an understanding of this higher calling, this higher consciousness. So I think I'll have it start, I'll drop it on a Wednesday or Thursday night. I still need to figure that out. So yeah, I'll do an Old Testament survey. That might be 2 or 3 weeks because there is a lot in the Bible and there are some really, hey, Janet P. I think there was the Geneva Bible before the King James. That's true. And even the whole thing about the King James, I'm going to look that up. Good to see you. I'm going to leave myself a note on what the Geneva Bible. Write it down. Thank you, Janet P. Good to see you. Talking about the King James Bible. So in the African American church, they are like wedded to that thing. Now, if thou would like it for me to speak it about these, right? We don't talk like that. And so I taught at a Christian Bible college. And first of all, that denomination didn't ordain women, Church of God in Christ. So they were already kind of wigged out that initially, gave more power to the individual. Thank you, Janet. I'm going to look that up. That denomination didn't ordain women. So with my very first year, they wouldn't even put my name, which is under my government name, Reverend Villa Willis. They wouldn't even put Reverend in front of my name, even though I was an ordained and am an ordained elder in the AME, African Methodist Episcopal Church. All right. Thank you, Janet. I appreciate that. And let's see. I was trying to give Regina a wrench, but I can't remember how. So anyway, so we're going to talk about that. We'll talk about the Geneva Bible, talk about even how the books of the Bible, like who wrote those books, which is a really good, interesting question. But talk about weird stories. So do you know about Balaam's donkey, that a donkey actually talked in the Bible? Do you know that there was a man who made a promise to God because he had a great victory that he wanted to offer the very first thing that came out? Well, the very first thing that came out to greet him was his daughter celebrating. Now, he had to say, well, God, I didn't mean a human and I didn't mean my daughter, but whatever was his consciousness of God, so he sacrificed his daughter, cut her up into 12 pieces, and then sent her out to the 12 tribes. Now, I have never tried to send meat in the mail. I never tried to send meat in the mail, but I do know that meat, and I'm sorry for referring to this young woman as meat, but human body parts don't do well in the mail. So how did this whole story go about? There are just some, yeah, and so let's talk about that. Maybe I'll do a whole thing on strange stories in the Bible. So we're going to talk about spirituality one-on-one, that I'm going to bring my teaching so that we can grow spiritually. I was on there used to be, I don't know if they do their lives anymore, but there was this group of amazing Black African-American tarot readers. And one time they said, are the tarot cards sacred tools? And I'm like, oh yeah. They're like, no, they're just some piece of paper and writing. And I thought, okay, it could be, but a tool is sacred when how it's used. And so we'll talk about that. And then of course I will do a lesson where we'll go through, which I'm sure Regina is going to appreciate. We're going to go through the tarot deck. Let's talk about, what is the tarot deck about? Major and minor arcana. What is the flow? What are the 4 suits? How do you tap into your intuition? I do think everyone should have a tarot deck because everyone is intuitive. We are spiritual and energetic beings. And that is the very beginning of that. And so that is where I'm going to go. So keep your eye out. It'll probably be in the next couple of weeks, especially since I am speaking next week. And the seniors have their event next week. I will not be working on that. And but I'm excited. I'm excited to be back on here and being myself. I already do that in the morning with everyone's love and support, and I will continue to do that. But I think it's time for me to bring my gifts to this platform. So I'm excited about that. All right. So now, I have just a little bit more of my Frosty. So good. Like a little treat. I probably go to Wendy's every 6 months. They're the best thing. I went today, and because it's Lent, they actually had a fish sandwich. So I was able to get that because I was very nervous. I usually don't eat at those places. So I'm like, I don't want to making myself sick because I ate somewhere. But the fish meal was very good. So let me get the card. So what I've got today is Light Seers Tarot. Angel Guide Oracle. And then this beautiful deck that my daughter gave me, the Sacred Self-Care Oracle. So for everyone, I would like to, with your permission, to pull a Sacred Self-Care Oracle so that we all can move forward and how we can best take care of ourselves. I think that is so important. On my show on Friday, I did Feel Good Friday. And so I'll have some pictures of a couple things I did that feel good. But one of the other things I love to do, yes, no more food before the show, I'm just burping away, is I took a nap today. I love taking a nap. And so what I do is I don't sleep in the bed. That's for Nine. I have this beautiful comforter that Gail gave me because, Gail, she had to come February 15th or whatever. She ready to turn the AC on. Now, that's probably an exaggeration, but she had when I had a window junk open. And so she bought me my own comforter that goes just on my side of the bed. And I wrap myself up in that thing and I get in my chair. I'm telling you, mouth wide open, snoring. Oh, it's such a good nap. And it feels so good. And I love to do it. So I got my nap in today. But the power of self-care, and many people don't realize it, but it's also a part of the mandate of Christ consciousness, because when they ask Master Teacher Jesus What are the commandments, right? Out of the 10 commandments, the Jewish leadership or the religion's leadership made that into like 660. So, they get something very simple from the divine, 10 little simple things, which they then magnify into 600 and something things. Yeah, yes. And please, Janet, please get your self-care. And yes, let's just take a minute. Let's all breathe in and out. Let's send this healing power to Janet P here, who's been a supporter of me and Lily, not just because of that, because she's a beautiful, wonderful human. Let's send her healing light. Let's send Dolly healing light, who's having issues with her shoulder. Actually, she broke her rotator cuff or snapped it, so she can't lift her arm, so she will be having surgery. Let's send healing to her, and then let's send healing to Deborah Purple Elephant, who is just having some medical challenges right now. And we're going to stand with all of these 3 beautiful women, Janet P., Dolly, and Deborah Purple Elephant, Dolly, Wolf Girl, seeing them all as healed, whole, and healthy, a quick recovery, divine intervention, and divine healing flowing through their bodies, from the top of the head to the bottom of their feet, and then from the feet on up, filling them with the divine light of healing, the purple amethyst light of healing and wholeness, calling on their angels of healing. And so it is. So yes, self-care, love to you, Janet, Dolly, and Deborah. All right, so I want to pull a self-care card for everyone. And then what I'll do is I'll pull, if you would like a reading, I'll pull 3 tarot cards, 1 oracle card, and 1 oh shoot, let me take this watch off. I'm not used to wearing this watch at my, thank you, Jack. He's feeling it, y'all. It's just sending her that love. That's right. Sending her that healing. Knowing that's a consciousness. That consciousness of healing. Thank you, Regina. It says your teaching on self-care to start this year was powerful. And that was, again, Lily's beautiful gift to me. So, Regina, as you say, yes, please, you're ready for your reading. And so, yeah, we'll do 3 tarot cards, 1 of the angel cards, and self-care. So it's very funny. Kyle Gray came out with a new deck. I was waiting. I got you, Regina. And people were using this deck, and I thought, this seems okay, not very interesting to me. And then I found out it was this new deck. And I was like, I don't really like it. Okay. But people were loving it. Well, I'm not sure how well that deck did, because he came out with a new deck that is back to how it used to be with the Ascended Masters and all those things. And so I love those decks. All right. So as we get ready to use the tarot cards for this reading, we're going to call in the angels of love and light, put a shield of protection around each one of us and around this sacred space, knowing that the divine is here in, as, and through us. Call upon our higher guides and welcome in the ancestors, the ascended masters, their future selves, and again, the higher selves of everyone getting a reading to talk to empower, to speak to. And that I am guided, guarded, protected, connected, directed, and a willing vessel for these messages. All right, so here we go. All right, so shuffling. Not surprising that of the 3 cards that Regina got, 2 of them are involving water, but so Regina, your first card is the 5 of Wands. Here we go. The major arcana card, the Moon. And then the 6 of Swords. So the 5 of Wands is about continuing your process. The 5 of Wands is about building, working together. So continuing your process, continue on your path, continuing to climb. And it means working with folks. And then what I like about here is that everyone has on the same outfit. So this could be using different aspects of yourself to move forward, that you have certain gifts and ideas. And so incorporate them. You don't have to just do things one way. And that going forward can look like, it doesn't have to be straight up. Most things aren't like that. You can go left here and then take a little right here and do a little jag here. But that capacity of this card, what I really get for you, and then again, if you see at the top, the person on there is reaching for the fire. This is really an invitation for you to go for your passion, to go there. That the route may have not been direct, but you can continue to go towards your passion. Having the moon. So a major arcana. And so oftentimes this card, to many people, talks about deception or being aware of things. But to me, the moon is the divine feminine, and it's about your intuition. And so again, that path forward, moving toward where you want to go, is really relying on your divine feminine, listening to your gut. And when people are interacting with you, listen with your divine ears and look at the situation using your third eye, through your divine eye. Take that step back. This person is being immersed in the water. This is about taking a step back. Go inward before you interact, before you react, before you communicate. Come from that place of divine feminine power. And then lastly, the Six of Swords. And this is about, if you can see the image, and even if you look on a traditional tarot card, that you've had some rough seas, but you're headed towards blue water and calm seas, and that you will get there as you continue to follow your passions, connect with your intuition, and know that you're on the right path to your purpose. You're moving forward. You're leaving the rough seas behind and headed towards blue water, smooth sailing. All right, let's see your angel guide card. I don't think it could be any more clear. Your card is power and intention. So step into your power with intention. Now is the time. And then let's see what your self-care card is. How can you take care of yourself? And yes, Janet, you'll get your reading next, young lady. What is your self-care card? And actually, these cards have like a little mantra. So I'm going to actually put out the book. Very simple, and one of my favorite things, write a gratitude list. The power of gratitude. I saw a presentation by, I think he's a professor, where he talked about, I want to see what your mantra is for gratitude. It's card 55. Talked about how gratitude is like the lubricant of the brain, that when you sit down and you get thoughtful, you get grateful, you write your gratitude, you get in that, again, consciousness of gratitude, you've lubricated your mind, and creativity, solving your problems, intuitions come to you. So it says, when you have a meeting and everyone's sitting there complaining and jaw-jacking about what's not going right, you've just told your brain to disconnect from creativity, from finding creative solutions, from being empowered. And so again, I see that, Regina, for you, for your self-care, that this creativity that you're wanting and the way that you want to move forward, it's about being thankful for what got you where you are and being thankful every day. And of course, the mantra is, I am grateful. With the journal prompt, what are you grateful for? How can you show more gratitude daily? All right. Well, blessings to you. All right. Let's get the cards for Janet. And then if the other people who are watching, if you want a reading, please let me know. If not, I will do a reading for the collective. Yes, confirmation. You are ready. You are welcome. Yes, if the other people watching want a reading, let me know. If not, I'll pull for the collective. Oh, and I'll also let you know that on February 29th, I am doing a live with Gerald from Tarot Stash. Y'all didn't know about me and him. And we will be doing readings from the Dreams of Gaia deck, which is a very magical and beautiful and wonderful deck. And so we will be doing that, and I'll share more information about that on the 29th. Let me see. I'll tell you the time. Oh, I don't even have it on my calendar. What is going on? Oh, it will be February 29th, 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central, which is my time. We're going to use the Dreams of Gaia deck. All right. Let's have you take a deep breath in, Janet. And out. All right. Let's get you 3 cards. So your first card, Janet, is the Ace of Swords. The Major Arcana card, Strength. And then the Four of Swords. So your first card is from the Swords and your last card is from the Swords. So this bookend, the Swords, is about your thoughts. Hello, Jane. This is about your thoughts. And so, again, this is an invitation to elevate, expand, and increase your thought process. This is telling you, where is your consciousness? And then this capacity of the Strength card. And so, again, this is about balancing, that you have in this the lion and the lamb. The Strength card, the traditional one is usually something like a person, a woman taming a lion. And so this is that invitation to you, Janet, to tame those thoughts that make you doubt yourself, to tame those thoughts that make you feel like you can't be the bold, badass woman that you are, because there's time for a new thought. That's what this Ace of Swords is saying. It's time for you to step into a new set of thoughts about how powerful you are, right? The lion, that even in your gentleness, there can still be power. There can still be power. And then this, of course, lets me know that you're in a place of healing, that you're at a place now where you can rest. Things may still look a bit cray-cray, but you're at a place where you can rest. And during this time of rest, honestly look at those thoughts that disempower and let them go, because it's time for you to step into your strength. All right, so let's see what your angel card is. And welcome, Jane the Secret. Jane, are you also going to want a reading? I see your niece wants a reading. Regina, is she watching? Or is she saying she wants one in the future? Yeah, some powerful cards indeed. Friendship and union. Look at this for you, Janet. I think one of the things that I get, Janet, and I don't know, but a feeling of isolation, that you and I can both be sort of the lone wolves, that we've been taught that we can rely on ourselves. But you're ready to step into a place to where you can trust. And that is very hard for me because I know what I can do and I know the quality and the value that I bring. So I know I'm going to get the job done, right? But Janet, there is a real call. You cannot, what I see now, that strength card is that you've been doing it all yourself. And this is the time for you to ask for help, to allow support, to be receptive to support coming to you. Be open. It's safe for you to ask for help. Wow, I got a real strong feeling on that too. That strength card, you are a strong badass, but even a powerful woman like yourself. Yeah, even a powerful woman like yourself. It's time for you to get some support, some help. Oh, Janet, I'm so happy for you. So let's see what your self-care card is. Your self-care card is, all right, of course, Janet. Of course, Jane in California. Your card, Janet P. Janet. This Janet P is to meditate. And let's see. Your mantra, very good, is I am at peace. I am at peace. And so here are your journal prompts. What blocks, real or imagined, prevent you from meditating? What practical steps can you take towards removing these blocks? Now, Janet, I want you to say that graciously, that you can meditate more, that you can increase and add meditation to your life. I want you to say it in a loving, gracious way versus I don't meditate enough. Make room. Spirit is calling. When you get that invitation to ask for help and support, the first place is to allow the divine to help you. So go into that secret space, your sacred closet, and allow for that support. And let me know. How can I support you? I will keep you in my prayers, in my consciousness time, holding you up. Oh, Janet, you are so welcome. All right. So, Regina, let your niece know I'm going to do her reading next. Let me get Jane while she is traveling. And so glad to see her. All right. Oh, Janet, thank you. And yeah, sometimes chanting or listening, that, oftentimes I will say for Janet that meditation doesn't mean you have to be like, right? That you can be sitting down and listening to meditative music. That's meditation. You can go out in your yard and you're working in the garden. That's meditating. Walking on the path around your house. That's meditating. Don't let us not be so hard on ourselves that I must be sitting here for, right? Guided meditation. I will. There's an amazing woman. Let me put her name here. Janet, I have worked for her since 2009. This is her, Alea, and I'm sure it's aleadow.com. I do guided meditations with her. You can get them every day or Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Yeah, that there. So, and even you can go to Oren and Ben, They also have guided meditations, and I've worked with them for years, and they have wonderful meditations. So aleadao.com or Ananda Ben have some amazing meditations. All right, let me get Jane, and then Regina, I will be back to your niece. Can you put her name in the chat, please? So Jane, what I'm doing is I have my the Light Seers Tarot. I'm pulling 3 cards. I have an Angel Guide Oracle by Kyle Gray, and then everyone is getting a self-care card as well. So let's see your 3 cards. Let's just take a deep breath in and out. All right, Jane. So your card is the 10 of Wands. Temperance. And then the King of Wands. And I'm sort of giggling to myself because your guides are like, yes, you know what this reading's about. So guess your guides are all up in the business. So, very simple, of course, with this Temperance card in the middle, this is the invitation to balance your divine feminine, divine masculine, to balance your dark and light, and to really be willing to spend some time looking at the dark and look at the Sith side of ourselves. So that to then be blanketed by the wands, that 10 of Wands, that ending just before we step into the court cards. So what I see here is lighten your load. You're getting ready to step into a bigger way of being. Your passions are going to drive you, invite you, and empower you to move in a new way. And so, Temperance Hermit. And so this invitation is to lighten your load. That you have a lot of things in your heart you want to do, but you can't do everything. You can't do everything well. You can't do everything connected to your higher purpose. So lighten the load. Bring that balance. Again, I just really get that feeling of sometimes you just got to shut the door. Lighten the load, that not everyone, you can't, even though you want to be, there's no need for you to be all things to everybody. You have your lane. You have your way of being. You have your focus and you have your passion. Stay connected to that. And then, of course, the King of Wands. The Wands is all about your passion. And this is about, again, look, here we got the Lion again. We had Strength before. That this King of Wands is that higher way. The court cards are about elevation and evolution. And so this is that invitation. The Queen and the King ending the deck. This is your divine feminine, your divine masculine, telling you, step it up, move into that passion. There's something I see, like your heart on fire, like something burning in your heart. And they're saying, come on and do it. Step into that passion and then act on it. Act on it big time. You can do it with baby steps. It's still acting on it big time. Let's see what your Angel Guide card is. Healing energy. So one, I see that one is you receiving some healing energy. And then two, I see a healing path before you. I don't know if you are Reiki, you thought about doing Reiki, you work with crystals, but this like amethyst, but that this real call to receive your healing energy, but also to receive your healing gift, to be powerful in that. There are people around you who need that, Pentecostal laying on of hands, for you to speak that powerful word of healing. Step into it. Now is the time. That's that King of Passion. King of Wands is the king of doing your passion. And then let's see what your self-care card is. I'm having so much fun. Thank you all for being here. I forgot how much I love doing this. So thank you. Thank you all for being here. And for those of y'all that catch it later. And your card, your self-care card, is family. 23. And what I like about this card, because I used it before, is I share unconditional love and receive it in return. And this is, remember that peaceful relations with your family, whether biological, adoptive, or chosen, are incredibly important. Families can offer a sense of unconditional love and be there for you in times of need. You are being called to tune in to the energy of unconditional love. And so you're with your family. Open your heart to receiving love. And the person that keeps showing up in my vision right now is Gerald too. That he loves you and that he's, again, your family. You have a wonderful set of people that love you and value you that on your YouTube. Be receptive to that love. Again, you know how to give and you know how to pour out, and that's that healer's gift. But a healer also needs to know how to receive. So this is a good stone for you. This is a stone. It's a green stone. I don't know how it's pronounced. Prehnite, Prehnite. This is for you, Jane. This is, oh, hey, Sonia. This is a stone. It's the healing stone for healers. Healers need healing. And so you can get a stone or you can get a bracelet. All right. Whew. Let me get some more of this, my little Frosty. All right. So let's do this reading for, I hope it's Nemo. I hope I'm connecting it pronouncedly, or Nemo. All right. I'm on a stone shop spree in Arizona. Oh, yeah. So get it. See, look at that Prehnite. All right. Let's see what Regina's needs reading. Let's have you. Yes. Okay. Nemo. All right. Here we go. Let me have you take a deep breath in and out. And Sonia, let me know if you'd like to have a reading. I'm on a roll now, girl. And thank you all for being here. This really makes me feel good. Thank you. All right. Very good. So for Nemo, you have the 5 of Cups, the King of Pentacles, and then the Moon. So these together let me know that you're feeling like this didn't work out and I should just walk away or I should do something new. But the 5 of Cups is always a reminder that just because these other cups up here are empty, you still have more. You still have more opportunities. So stay with it. Focus on what is going well. And how do I know that? Because your next card is the King of Pentacles. This is the card about abundance and prosperity and advancement and doors opening. So stay focused. Okay, first door closed, second door closed, third door. Okay, there's 2 more doors. Keep going. Stay focused. Keep your mind on your money and your money on your mind. Keep your mind on where you want to go. Just because there's a detour, if I'm trying to go down Poplar Avenue because I'm going to, or go to Madison because I'm going to go on over to Overton Square and there is a detour, doesn't mean I'm going to just turn around and go home. It means I'll come some other way. And that's what I really feel that Nemo is, that what I get is that you're being redirected. And the route that you wanted to take, you're like, no, this is the best way. You're being redirected. And again, the invitation is, with the Moon card, listen to your intuition. Take some time to be still. Get out in nature and breathe. Sit in your house and breathe. Invite in your ancestors, your wise wisdom, the crone. Call on your grandmothers and great grandmothers. They are ready to direct you on a path that may not be as direct as you wanted it to be, but it'll get you there at the right time, at the best time, and you will be equipped, supported, and empowered. All right, Regina, let me know if that reading resonates with her. Oh, we still got to get her angel guide. And Jane, thank you for telling me that you missed my lives. So I am doing one with Gerald on February 29th. What did I say? 12 p.m. Central and 1 p.m. Eastern. And so be there with Gerald. The plot thickens. Cut the cords. So this direction that you're going means the folks who want to go with you ain't going. So you got to cut that cord, kind of like the umbilical cord. So I see now that you're ready to give birth to something. You're ready to give birth to moving in a new way. You're ready to give birth to being in this new space. But, Lily and I aren't still connected by that umbilical cord. You got to cut that cord. You got to release what you know, your safety space, and ready to move forward in a new way. And then let's get your self-care card, the Sacred Self-Care Oracle. And your card is, sound healing. Sound healing. And it says, I receive healing energy with grace and ease. With grace and ease. I receive healing energy with grace and ease. And so your journal prompt is participate in a sound healing and write about your experience before, during, and after the journey. How do you feel in your mind, body, and heart? And there, I sleep at night too. YouTube has a crystal ball, a man that does 8 hours. 8 hours crystal ball healing, 8-hour crystal balls. They have the Tibetan bowls. I listen to 528 HC. You can get a solfeggio healing. So I don't know if you youngsters listen to YouTube, but I'm sure they also have it on Spotify or Amazon Prime or whatever. So come on over to YouTube because you're here right now, right? Find a crystal ball healing crystal bowl sound bath. So Sonia, do you want to have a reading? I'd love to do one for you. I just want to make sure that I have your permission or if you're still here. And thank you all for being here. This has been very healing for me. And I thank you. All right. So what I'm doing, Sonia, is I'm pulling 3 cards from my Light Seers Tarot, 1 Angel Guide, and 1 Self-Care. And so you've set your intention. Tell her she's very welcome. And let's see. It's funny when I do a reading for the reader, your guides are like, she know what's happening. So I said, okay, here we go. I guess it looks like they're getting ready to confirm some things for you. So your first card is the Page of Swords. And then you have the 4 of Pentacles. And then the 8 of Swords. Very interesting that everyone's reading seems to have the first and the last card so far from the same suit, and then a card from a different suit in between. So the Page of Swords, I always see the court cards as an invitation to level up. So there are some things that you're wanting to have happen and create space for in these next 3 months coming up. In this next quarter, as we're getting ready to end Pisces season and step into Aries season, I have just a real strong feeling of you got to level up your thinking. And also it's about, the feeling I get is um, it's you see what you're looking at. So if what you want to see, look at those things, right? Focus your vision, get in alignment with your higher thoughts, and then see those things. They're already around you. But you've got to bring your alignment, level up your thinking, and then see the very things that you're wanting to draw to you, the opportunities that you're wanting to open to you. They're already there, but you've got to have that higher consciousness to see them. The Four of Pentacles. Now, the traditional deck, this is like someone who's being a miser, but the real feeling that I get from here is your giftings that you have held on to, that you hold on to. Let's see. It's not looking so clear. That you have treasures within you that you tap, you get near, and that for what you're wanting to create and draw into your life in these next 3 months, you've got to go down into that treasure and pull it out. That instead of pulling out like, well, here, let me get this dime, and let me get this penny, and let me get this quarter, what I see is that you've got some rubies and diamonds down in there, and you'll touch them, but you won't pull them out. And this is that real invitation to draw out those gifts that you hold near and dear to your heart. But when you share them with the world, you'll be blessed, and it's safe to do so. And that where you may feel tied up and unclear and unsure, it's just an illusion. For you are well and on the right track. Continue to move forward in that space. Oh, I love that for you. Let's see what your angel card is. Ooh, Sonia, I got chills. Just a real understanding of, like, I see your guide standing right next to you. It's like, it's right here. It's right here. Yes, it doesn't look the way you expected it to look, but if you sometimes it's at the angle, like with a kaleidoscope. You just need to flip it and you'll see it in that way. And that's what I'm seeing. Okay, here comes my daughter, Lily Benu. Here she is. Here's Lily Benu.
I'm doing my physical therapy.
Oh, okay. And let me get your, look at this. Guardian angel. Guardian. Everybody's telling you hi, Lily. Your guardian angel. You are not by yourself. You are not by yourself. As you want to take this step forward, you are supported. And I see EQ in the picture. So she is a great support for you. Share this idea with her, this vision, and she will help guide and direct you, and may even partner with you in this new thing. I see it's something new, but she has a part to play in that. Oh, where did my book go for my self-care book? Here it is. You're welcome, Sonia. How funny. Jane, the seeker, was just talking about that. Your self-care card is chanting. And we have your mantra is, my voice is heard. And so I see that, and this is all about empowering your voice in a new way and following the voice of your vision. Because if you're new to chanting, you could start with learning the tone Om and the sound for each chakra. So crown chakra Om, third eye Om, throat chakra Ham, heart chakra Yam, solar plexus Ram, sacral chakra Vam, and root chakra Lam. So Om, Om, Ham, Yam, Ram, Bam, Lam. There we go. So yeah, spend that time getting your voice ready because you are ready to be heard. I think if you're looking to do some public speaking and get out there, there you go. There you go. All right. I wanted to just keep you all an hour and honor your time, and we have gone over that because I was having a fun time doing my readings. But so if there's anyone else that would like a reading, let me know. If not, I'm going to, I will close the circle. So I'll just give a few minutes or just a couple extra seconds. Let's all take a breath in and out. I will close the circle, the healing, the sacred space. All that we have done here together is closed and sealed and set in our hearts. You are welcome. You are welcome. You are all welcome. Thank you so much. I had a fun time. You're going to see me more often on these lives. March may be a little hairy because might be doing something with my mom and a couple things, but you will see me more. My next live will be February 29th with Gerald. We're going to be doing readings from the Dreams of Gaia Tarot deck. Thank you all for being here. I love each one of you. Thank you for each one of you. Watch it later. Have a beautiful day.